The hum of the quantum drive was the only sound in the cramped cockpit of the Star Wanderer. Steve stared intently at the monitor, a pixelated representation of the solar system modded into his Minecraft game. Around the familiar blocky sun, planets both familiar and alien spun in their coded orbits. He had been preparing for this moment for months, ever since he had stumbled upon the Cosmocraft mod in the Minecraft forums. It was a game changer, literally. Suddenly, Minecraft wasn't just about digging and building within the confines of a single, albeit infinite, world. It was about reaching for the stars. He had spent countless hours mining, crafting, and coding, wrestling with the complex machinery required to build his spaceship. Iron, redstone, diamonds, all the familiar resources of Minecraft took on a new significance as he forged the Star Wanderer from pixels and sheer determination. The mod added new ores too, strange glowing crystals found deep underground, that powered the quantum drive and shielded the ship from radiation. Now, finally, the moment had arrived. The engine thrummed, the stars beckoned, and Steve's heart pounded with a mix of excitement and nervous anticipation. He flipped the activation switch. Engaging quantum drive, a digitized voice announced from the ship's computer, a heavily modified command block system. Destination, Kepler 186f. Estimated travel time, 30 seconds. The stars blurred into streaks of light, then snapped back into focus. He was no longer orbiting his familiar Minecraft planet. Instead, a verdant green and blue marble filled the viewport. Kepler 186f, a planet remarkably similar to his own, yet undeniably alien. Entering orbit, the computer announced. Atmospheric analysis complete. Atmosphere breathable. No immediate hazards detected. Steve breathed a sigh of relief. He had chosen Kepler 186f as his first destination due to its Earth-like qualities. He still packed his environmental suit though. You can never be too careful. With a gentle bump, the Star Wanderer settled on a grassy plain bathed in the warm glow of the alien sun. He donned his environmental suit, grabbed his trusty diamond pickaxe and a handful of torches and activated the airlock. The airlock hissed open, revealing a landscape that was both familiar and profoundly strange. Towering trees, their leaves a vibrant shade of emerald green, swayed gently in the breeze. Flowers of impossible colors bloomed in the long grass. He felt a sense of both excitement and unease. This wasn't his Minecraft world. This was something else entirely. He ventured out, his boots crunching on the alien soil. The air smelled sweet and clean, with a hint of something floral he couldn't quite identify. He began to explore, documenting everything he saw with his data pad, another modded edition. Strange, bird-like creatures with iridescent feathers flitted through the trees, chirping calls he couldn't understand. He spotted a herd of large, herbivorous animals grazing in the distance, their bodies covered in thick, striped fur. They looked vaguely like oversized sheep, but with 6 legs and long, elegant necks. As he continued his exploration, he stumbled upon a cave entrance, hidden behind a waterfall. Curiosity piqued, he lit a torch and ventured inside. The cave was dimly lit by glowing fungi that grew on the walls. The air felt cool and damp. As he delved deeper, he noticed strange formations on the walls, intricate carvings that depicted creatures he didn't recognize and symbols he couldn't decipher. It was clear that someone, or something, had been here before. Suddenly, he heard a rustling sound. He spun around, his pickaxe raised in defense. A pair of glowing eyes stared back at him from the darkness. A low growl echoed through the cave. He cautiously advanced, his torch held high. The creature stepped into the light. It was unlike anything he had ever seen before. A reptilian humanoid, with sleek, black scales, sharp claws, and a pair of antennae that twitched nervously. The creature hissed at him, its eyes narrowed. Steve held his ground, unsure of what to do. He didn't want to fight, but he wouldn't back down either. He slowly lowered his pickaxe and extended his hand, palm open, in a gesture of peace. The creature watched him warily, its head cocked to one side. After a tense moment, the creature slowly extended its own hand, a 3-fingered clawed hand, and touched Steve's gloved fingers. A jolt of energy passed between them, a feeling of understanding. The creature made a series of clicking sounds, and Steve realized that it was trying to communicate with him. He rummaged through his inventory and pulled out his data pad, hoping that the built-in translator could decipher the creature's language. After several minutes of trial and error, he managed to establish a rudimentary form of communication. The creature, who identified itself as Kree, was a member of an ancient race that had once thrived on Kepler 186f. They had built the carvings on the walls, telling the story of their people, their triumphs, and their eventual decline. Kree explained that their civilization had been destroyed by a cataclysmic event, a meteor strike that had plunged the planet into an ice age. Only a handful of Kree had survived, forced to live in the caves, scavenging for food and waiting for the planet to recover. Steve felt a pang of sympathy for Kree and his people. He realized that his exploration was more than just a game. He was encountering real civilizations, real people, with their own histories and their own struggles. He spent several days with Kree, learning about their culture, their history, and their hopes for the future. He helped them find new sources of food, repaired their ancient tools, and even taught them some basic Minecraft skills. Before he left Kepler 186f, Kree gave him a gift, a small, smooth stone that pulsed with a faint energy. "This will protect you," Kree said. "It is a piece of our world, a reminder of our friendship." Steve returned to the Star Wanderer, his heart filled with a mix of sadness and hope. He knew that he couldn't stay on Kepler 186f forever, but he would never forget his time there, or the friendship he had forged with Kree. He set a course for his next destination, Proxima Centauri b, a rocky planet orbiting the nearest star to his own. He had heard rumors of strange, metallic structures on its surface, and he was eager to investigate. The journey to Proxima Centauri b was long and arduous. He had to navigate asteroid fields, dodge solar flares, and even fend off a pirate ship piloted by a group of rogue villagers, another feature of the Cosmocraft mod. But he persevered, driven by his insatiable curiosity and his desire to explore the unknown. When he finally arrived at Proxima Centauri b, he was not disappointed. The planet was a desolate wasteland of rock and dust, bathed in the faint red light of its star. But scattered across the surface were the metallic structures. He had heard about colossal, geometric shapes that seemed to defy the laws of physics. He landed the Star Wanderer near one of the largest structures and ventured out in his environmental suit. The air was thin and cold, and the gravity was noticeably weaker than on his home planet. As he approached the structure, he noticed strange symbols etched into its surface, symbols that looked eerily familiar. They were almost identical to the symbols he had seen in the cave on Kepler 186f. He realized that the Kree were not the only ancient race in this solar system. Someone else had been here before, someone who had the ability to travel between stars. He spent weeks exploring Proxima Centauri b, mapping the structures, deciphering the symbols, and trying to piece together the history of this lost civilization. He discovered that they were a highly advanced race, capable of manipulating energy on a scale he couldn't even comprehend. They had built these structures as a way to harness the power of the star, to create a vast network of energy that spanned the entire solar system. But something had gone wrong. He found evidence of a catastrophic failure, a runaway reaction that had destroyed their civilization, and left Proxima Centauri b, a barren wasteland. He learned a valuable lesson on Proxima Centauri, that even the most advanced civilizations can fall, and that power, without responsibility, can be a dangerous thing. He left Proxima Centauri b with a heavy heart. He had seen the rise and fall of two civilizations, and he realized that his own journey was just beginning. There were countless planets to explore, countless mysteries to unravel, and countless dangers to overcome. He set a course for a distant gas giant, a swirling vortex of color and energy that beckoned him from the edge of the solar system. He knew that the journey would be long and difficult, but he was ready. He was Steve, the Minecraft explorer, and he would not rest until he had explored every corner of the cosmos. The universe, after all, was just a giant, blocky world waiting to be discovered. And he had his pickaxe, his spaceship, and an insatiable thirst for adventure. The possibilities, like the universe itself, were infinite.